2018, I'm challenging myself to ride a motorcycle every day and document every day that I do. Hashtag 365 motorcycle. This is 2 days of this journey when I talk about why I bought my Honda Hawk and some other crap.
And we're back. Yep. Today's Tuesday. It's the 11th of September. Pretty sure of that. And I'm riding the Honda Hawk today. I figured I'd talk about that. Why I bought this bike. Similar to what I did with the Hornet. But I think this one I'm going to try to do in 2 days or maybe a day. So, let's see. Only impatient cage there. Let's see. This is a 88 Hawk. This is what I love doing to people right here that are impatient. I'm going to be in front of you anyway. So this is a 88 Hawk. It is the oldest bike in our fleet of motorcycles. And we're back. Yep. Today is September the 11th. Patriot Day. I guess that is known as now. And I already recorded this morning. I'm not sure if I want to use that segment, so figured I'd do another one. It's always good to have some insurance, but yeah, it was interesting. I couldn't remember what day it was, and then when I realized for sure it was September 11th, I was like, oh man, yeah. So it brought back all memories of September 11th, man. Weird to think it was 17 years ago, so that's kind of crazy. Yep. See, left my gloves at work accidentally. My tank bag was too full. Instead of putting it in my helmet, I put it in my jacket. I took my jacket off, took the gloves out. Don't have gloves, and my building at work, you got to go through security, which is a shame because probably when it was built in the 60s, it was awesome. There was like 10 entrances, good old days. And then lo and behold, that all changed after September 11th. I'm pretty sure. Maybe a little earlier than that, because we were having issues with like terrorism and stuff. Probably after the first Gulf War, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I remember the old days when you could ride through military bases, and I'm sure a lot of people do. You didn't have to go through security at an airport. That was pretty crazy. Jeez, man, holy slow. Alright, well, I guess we'll leave it at that. Good old days. We're back. Yep. Today's 12th September. It is Wednesday, hump day. And recorded this morning like usual. Not sure if I liked it though. Kind of falling back into that mode. Good thing is I'm getting caught up on some of the vids. So anyway, riding the Hawk again. Figured I'd talk about the Hawk today. Yesterday I think I talked about the main features of the Hawk. I think today I'm supposed to talk about why I bought it, and then tomorrow is mods, and that'll be pretty short, so maybe I'll mix them both in if the camera lasts, because apparently I left it on all day, just the calm portion, but it was powered on. So alright, let's see, again, bought the bike. Why? Well, simply put, I needed a V-twin. I said in my last vid I was trying to get the major engine configs, so I didn't have a V-twin at that point, and that was what I really needed. So options for V-twins at that point for me were what was on my radar was this or a Super Hawk. Thought about getting an RC51, but I'd love to have that bike. I'd probably love the way it looks more than riding it, just because I'm not really into aggressive riding positions anymore. And I guess the NT650 was on my radar a little bit, but maybe not as much as it would be at this point. So right, so yeah, this bike comes up for sale. Bam, go to look at it. Second owner. This guy's had it forever, almost the entire run of the bike. Bike's got 63,000 miles on it, and he's had it since 5,000 miles. So well used, but well loved. Price was right. Really the only thing it needed was some tires, because the tires were old. So that's what I did. Tires and change the fluids. That's pretty much all that's happened to this bike. Maybe other than adding the tank bag. So yeah, that is the main reason I bought it. Like again said, bike problem. It's kind of sad now, because I always like to be in the hunt for bikes, and it's great when you find one, but then after that, you know, hunt's over, man, because it's not realistic. I can look at anything I want, but the reality of buying it is not there. So okay, guess I could talk about what I like about this bike. This bike always brings a smile on my face, and that's kind of challenging, because it is the bike I ride the least by far. So it's challenging that every time I'm like, I should get rid of a bike, I should probably get rid of this one because I don't ride it enough. Then I ride it and I smile, and I love the thing. It handles great. It's super fun in the twisties. It's just an overall super fun bike. I wish they made modern versions of it now. Out of all the bikes in the garage, honestly, this is the most fun one to ride. And I alluded to this in the Hornet videos that I think inline fours lack character for the most part, and this is a V-twin, and I think the V-twin and maybe the V4 are the engines with the most character, but probably the twin over the 4. So alright, so that's why I have the bike, what I like and what I don't like about it. Continue with that. So I mentioned some things I like about it. One thing I like about it is it's really small. It's a small bike. It's easy to wedge into the garage. It's super narrow. It's probably the narrowest bike we have. It's even more narrow than my dirt bike. Maybe not as narrow as Mrs. Smith's CRF 230M, but even narrower than the 250, which sometimes makes me forget that it's actually a 650, a 647, and the 599 is only a 599. So okay, so a few things I don't like about it. Honda again did me wrong in this one. There are no hazard lights. So maybe hazard lights weren't very popular in 88, I'm not sure. Probably the really other terrible thing about this bike is the fuel tank is super small. Don't really remember how small it is, but I will tell you, I ran out of gas once sub 100 miles, and I don't think I have any bikes that would happen to. So the thing sucks gas, and it's got a super small tank. Good thing about it, again, has two 17-inch rims. Some older bikes, I believe, had a 16-inch rim somewhere. I don't know. I always hear people bitching about that, whether it was in the front or the rear, but makes it harder to buy modern tires if you have a 16-inch rim somewhere in the combination. So that's a good thing. Position wise, like the riding position, it's super upright. It's probably a little small for a tall person, but for me it's kind of cool. You can get into it and tuck a little bit if you want, be aggressive, but I could sit pretty much upright and pretty comfortable. I won't comment on the seat because this seat is the original pan, but it got repadded. But for how I ride it, it's super fine. So yeah, something else. One thing I guess I don't like about it, it's true of all bikes, is it can be challenging to get parts. You just can't go to the store and be like, I need this, I need that. You need a new turn signal. you got to go find one. My gas tank has a dent in it. It's pretty low down, but it bothers me. I wish I could have bought a new tank. I could repair this one, but probably be a lot of work, and I kind of like having this bike look the way it was. One little other nuance with this bike compared to the other ones, except again for Mrs. Smith's 230M, is if you have the run switch, the kill switch, in the off position, you can still engage the starter and never start the bike and kill the battery. I've never killed the battery, but all my other bikes, if the kill switch is in the off position, you can't try to start the bike. So that's that. These foot pegs, they don't have springs on them. I don't know if that's normal or not. So by that I mean if that was the way they were designed back in the day. I can't remember. I had some older bikes, just don't remember. But all my foot pegs now spring out. These can fold back up, and then you got to pull them back down with your hand to your toe or something like that. So see what this ambulance is doing. See, I can't even put my flashers on. In a normal situation, I would have put my flashers on, right? Let people know that, hey, I'm pulling over for an ambulance, so you don't get some jag like the guy behind me being like, I'm just gonna pass everybody. Alright, headlighting this bike sucks, and that's probably because it's old. Sure, I probably could retrofit it, but if I had to drive around at night on this bike, I'd probably be scared out of my mind, because I don't think this light does anything super well as far as illumination goes. Doing these takes, man, I don't remember what I said a bunch of times. Seating position for this bike is great if you are a shorter person. I can flat foot this and have some bend in my legs, so that's awesome. As far as power goes, I mean, this bike isn't super powerful, but I think it has enough, like I said, get up and go to put a smile on your face and make your life interesting and exciting. Pretty simple as far as the gauges go. You're looking at no fuel gauge, you got a speedo, a tach, both analog, so clocks, a temp gauge, and then the old school kind of light bright looking lights, oil, neutral, turn, and high beam. That's pretty much that. Obviously it's an 88, so it's a carbureted bike, and this one's definitely takes its sweet time to get warmed up. I think that's pretty much everything I want to say about the bike in general. Previous owner, I guess, upgraded the suspension on the bike. Don't know what the old one was like, so I can't tell you what the new one is like, other than this bike definitely seems to handle the bumps a little better than the 599. I said for me, this bike occupies the same niche of the 599. It's a naked bike. It's kind of my bike I really can't do anything on because it has limited storage space, and I don't keep cases on it. So it's interesting how I'd rather ride this bike than the 599. And it kind of kills me to say that, because this bike's a little rough in spots. It's old. Hell, let's see, 88. Yeah, so it's 30 years old, man. So I remember when these bikes came out, and I maybe mentioned this yesterday, but I was like, why would anybody want this bike when you could get a Hurricane, which is faster for not much more money? So, and now I know why, because this bike is awesomely fun, and every Hurricane probably from that era is wrecked. So these bikes, I don't think, got beat on as much, although my understanding is they're pretty popular little track bikes. So alright, so going back to mods, PO put on upgraded suspension, put on signal cancelers, so the signal will turn itself off. That's a crazy feature, right? He disengaged the parking light by pulling the fuse, and he did that because he said he got sick of coming out to a dead battery back in the day before battery tenders were popular. Yeah, I think that's it. He put on some little odd mounts that I think are meant to be able to hang bags on somehow. I don't know. He hung some cases on or something. I'm not really sure how he did it, but I'm not really interested in doing that, so I really don't care. I put the tank mount ring on. I have like one of those Givi quick releases. I'm lucky on this bike I can use almost any tank bag. I might even be able to use the weird Africa Twin one, but this one fits the VFR's tank bag best, and I can put the little tank bag on from the 599, but that one looks a little weird. And yeah, the good thing was, if you try to find the ring for this bike, they don't have it listed, but I think it was the same one that fit the VFR. But quick search on a board helped me out there. Oh. So. What else? Probably end this pretty soon. I think that's pretty much it. So who knows? Oh yeah, so now me being a utilitarian guy, one of the bikes that intrigues me is the NT650, and that's like a touring bike. I doubt it's really like a sport touring bike, but it's a smaller displacement touring bike. And for a while I thought I wanted a ST1300 because I really like those bikes. I like the looks of them. But that's a V4, and I'm not getting rid of my VFR. So I love that bike. Oh, that's another one I don't ride that much, but I love it, right? So I'm going to keep it. So I was thinking about getting an NT700V. The problem is with NT700V, I've never ridden one, so I don't know how much fun it's going to be to ride. So, and for a while I was like, I was convinced, get the utilitarian bike, because that's totally what you want, right? That's what you'll use more. But then yesterday I was sitting around and I was like, I have enough utilitarian vehicles. How many do I need? Having a fun bike is be fun. So there's part of me that says I should get a Super Hawk, because that would probably even be more fun than this, right? Bigger engine, newer bike, probably look prettier than this. But yeah, I haven't ridden one of those either, so I don't know. Who knows? There could be a possibility that I ditch this bike. Pretty behind on my vids, so who knows? This might be the last time you see the bike, but honestly I doubt it, mostly because it's so small. It's one of the easier bikes to just fit in the garage, but I really would like to try to ride a NT700V. So alright, well, way longer than needed, which means way more editing. Not because I really edit anything out, but I like to stick in a bunch of stupid comments. So alright, well, thanks for listening. If you're in the market for a kind of a classic bike, or even just a second bike, man, these usually can be found for a pretty good price. And hell, I'll tell you, if I found a pristine one, I'd spend $3-4 grand on it, in my opinion, if the person took care of it and the body work was super nice. Because this is an awesomely fun bike. And if it's your first bike, or it's your second bike, or it's an extra bike, I really don't think you can go wrong with this bike. It's like I said, it's styling too. It's really not that dated. I feel the tail lights, which are like the blinkers, let's say, they're as goofy looking as the ones that are on the 599, and that bike's a 2009. So alrighty, well, that's really it. Thanks. Peace out.